What's up, mob? Hey, I'm back, and this is Nick Lowry, the check-in, Nick Lowry, and we went through some stuff. We talked about rookies. We broke down a little bit. He gave me his opinion on Vince Friese and the incidents. We talked about onesies, and he announced his new team. So, without further ado, let's get into this.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
All right, guys. So we're back with our weekly check-in with, now I can announce, Wildcat Racing's Nick Laurie. Nick, how is it? Laurie? Lowry.
Man, I don't know. So many people say different ways, and I truly don't even know myself because my dad said it's Larry, but we say it Laurie. So I don't. Whatever floats your boats.
You ever see that show, Bad Boys?
Yeah.
Mike Lowry. That's all we did. Yeah, okay. I'm going to call you Nick Lowry. So awesome. Well, you're wearing the shirt. You make the announcement. You're on Wildcat. So have you ridden the bike? How's it going, my man?
No, dude, I've had a crazy week. Was supposed to come do testing, got in a car accident, totaled my truck. Just trying to stay afloat, get my testing done. I think we're gonna test the bike tomorrow at Sandbox.
Oh, nice. Sandbox is gnarly. But okay, so you can't just gloss over this car accident. What happened? Are you okay? Was everybody okay? Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I mean everyone was okay. It's just like a freak accident. But front end of my truck's gone, so I had to call some friends to come get me to Claremont so I could test the bike.
Oh, geez. So what happened? Did somebody pull in front of you? Did you rear end somebody? Did they hit you? What happened?
It was one of those like left turning lanes, like where you get a green light, and this lady pulled out going pretty fast. I mean, maybe I should have been a little more paying attention, but at that point, I can't see her when you're going that fast. So,
Dang, yeah, it happens, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're okay. That's pretty gnarly. Car accidents. I actually saw one the other day when I was coming home from a friend's house, and it's crazy how people driving a car, you can go from zero to a horrible accident like that, and you don't even realize it. But so you still
yeah,
haven't,
man.
so you still haven't ridden the race bike, but we've made the announcement. Have you brought on any new sponsors to the team? Is anyone helping you out?
Dude, so many people have been reaching out to me and giving me love and support. It's great, and I love it so much. Fund My Race has been helping me. People have been sending me donations. As far as sponsors go, we have the whole team sponsors, obviously, but on my side, Sean at Brap Straps has been helping me out a lot. But we're still open to sponsors. I still need some more, but shout out to him. He's been killing it for me.
Very cool. And I'm sure you watched Anaheim with all your the West Coast guys that you'll have to meet up with at some point. And there was a lot of rookies out there. Julian Bomer crushed it. I know Julian pretty well. He's an awesome dude. And I've said he's going to be a superstar from last year when I saw him at Futures. We had Ryder D, Lux Turner. Unfortunately, Lux got hurt. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, and there's a couple pretty bad injuries there. Lux Turner, broken hip. And then Dylan Walsh had some internal injuries, just about died, but they saved him. So,
Yeah, I've seen his post. He got stapled all the way up to his chest.
Dude, it was scary too, because I was doing a pit walk and I went over to the pits. I'm like, hey, how's Dylan? And they were silent. Because when I saw the crash, it looked bad, but he got up, walked off. It didn't look, I thought maybe collarbone ribs. I thought he might even race that night. I had no idea. But it's scary how those things go from, just an injury to something crazy just in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I mean that's Supercross. You gotta be on point all the time, and even if you are on point, just stuff happens.
Yeah, for sure. And so speaking of the first round, everybody was nervous. Not one guy I talked to in the pits said, oh, my setup's perfect for this. It's just like the practice track. Everybody goes, dude, it's nothing like the practice track. I can't find a flow. What do you do to deal with nerves? How do you manage that?
Man, I actually really struggle with nerves, and I get really anxious. Like honestly, I think all my futures races, there wasn't one round where I didn't puke before the race.
I think that's pretty normal in a sense of,
Yeah.
but I mean, you probably shouldn't puke. It's probably not the best thing for your body, but yeah. Well, so do you do meditation? Do you do visualization? What kind of warm up do you do before you go out there?
Yeah, I mean a lot of visualization. my biggest thing is music. Like I'll always like have my headphones on before I go because I don't want to. I hear people talk about the track and it looks. And the biggest thing is like your mental state. You hear people talk about the track's rutted. It's no flow. I don't want to really hear that. I want to make that decision on my own.
Yeah, and a lot of times, so me being a vet rider, I remember I would look at the jumps when I would just go out and ride the jumps, and I didn't think that big of a deal. But when you go walk and look at them, you go, "Oh my gosh!" But when you're on the bike, sometimes it doesn't feel like that, right?
No, track walk is definitely deceiving. It's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you make these assumptions of what it's going to be like, and then you get out there and it's totally different.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to do track walk. You got to see it. You got to
Yeah.
look close, and those are things you can look for later on in the night. Um, your buddy TJ Albright, dude, he looked good out there. He won the LCQ, rode his ass off. Did you know he was going to be that fast?
I mean, I definitely had an assumption he was going to be really good. He's really good in the whoops. I thought the only thing that makes he may struggle with is going from practicing on the East Coast to racing on the West Coast with different soil. But I mean, he put his work in. I mean, he lost he lost a lot of I wouldn't say lost a lot of weight, but you could definitely tell this season he got into shape quite fast and was looking good.
Yeah, he is trimmed and ready to race. So hey, can you tell us who all's on the Wildcat team this year?
So right now it's just me and Lorenzo Lucrecio.
And how do you guys get along? You guys good buddies?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. It's like a full circle thing. When he was at NTF, I was, at little 12, 13, and I mean, we've always been around them because I'm really good friends with Anthony Rodriguez, and they always hung around. So always been like the little fucking asshole brother.
So you like the honorary South American?
Yeah, well, my mom's actually Venezuelan.
No way, seriously? Oh, so you're a blood brother.
Yeah, apparently.
I like it. I like it. So what caught your eye at Anaheim? What did you think of, Ryder D, and seeing know that you've been on the track against Ryder D, Juju, and there's other guys, Doc Smith and some Matty Jorgensen. So you've been on the track with those guys. What are your thoughts when you watch it and see how good or how not good those guys did?
I mean, I think every rookie's at a different level in their career. They're starting off differently. Like if you would have told me that Juju would have whole shot it in like a couple laps, probably wouldn't have been that surprised because I knew how fast he was at Futures. I mean, I was hearing about days where he was just as fast as the Lawrence brothers as an amateur on a Supercross track. So, not crazy surprise, but for any rookie or amateur going into the pros, just getting it out of the way without an injury is a plus.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Unfortunately, like Lux Turner, he's probably going to miss the entire season now, so you can't build off of it. So essentially, next year he'll be a rookie again, which is such a bummer. But I mean, I don't know that there's anything you can do. It's a dangerous sport. Things happen. You just go for it. And you know, I remember, when I was racing a lot. Yes, we all know that there's that fear, right? And we all know that can happen. Are you able to turn it off? Do you ever think about that?
Um, I definitely think you're able to turn it off, but with being able to turn it off, it comes. Um, I think I'm better at turning it off when I know I'm prepared.
Yeah.
It
See, I used to be way more scared of having a bad performance. Like if you asked me my fears on the line, I was like, if you asked me if I was scared of getting hurt or scared of not doing good was always my biggest fear.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I definitely am scared of getting hurt when I'm probably not my most prepared, like during the week or just building off Supercross in the preseason. I was a little nervous because I was still building, and then you get to like a point where you're like, okay, you start feeling a little confident, you got a little pep in your step, and um, you just seem to be one with the bike, and you're a lot more comfortable, and then that kind of fears being able to turn it off.
So when do you get to ride the bike and ride with Lorenzo? Are you going to commute back and forth? Because it sounds like that's a dangerous commute, man.
No, so I'm gonna test ride the bike tomorrow and hopefully Friday as well.
At the
But
sandbox.
yeah, that sandbox, and then as far as that goes, I'm gonna head back, gonna find myself a ride back to MTF and just do my work. And for the last couple of weeks I have.
So you're getting the bike, riding it at Sandbox, and bringing it back to MTF.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you'll have it from here until Detroit.
Yeah.
And now now when it comes to like adjustments on the bike, are you able to make adjustments to it? Do you have a mechanic with you? How does that work?
Yeah, so we're gonna have a full-time mechanic. My biggest struggle is gonna be I've never ridden a gas before. So that's gonna be something new to me. And who knows? I may get on it and feel right at home, or I may go on it like, you know what, this is what we can work with this. I'll feel comfortable in a week or two. But as far as suspension goes, I've tested a lot of suspension. And I've done a lot of work with the people at Clover Hill. So, and I'm stepping away from them, which is a little sad about, but they want nothing for the best for me. And I've learned a lot over there just testing with them. So hopefully I can translate that over to working with the guys at Power Band now.
That's awesome. That's music to my ears hearing what you're saying there about testing, because that's one of the things that a lot of guys overlook. And I know when I was coming up, I didn't know anything. I just got on the bike and rode it, and hopefully they gave me a good setup. And my dad, and probably it wasn't the best setup, but I didn't even know what to ask for. But you've done enough testing. Are you a guy that can come back and give them good feedback? Or are you known as a good tester?
Yeah, I mean, Supercross, I'd like to say I'm pretty compatible with testing. Maybe I'm not the best, but I can try to tell them what I want or what I'm feeling. And I mean, I think the biggest thing with suspension testing is trying not to do the suspension guy's job. I think a lot of people are like, I want my compression softer. I want this way. Whereas if I realize if you just tell them what you're feeling and how it's going, then makes it a lot easier on them to make an adjustment for you.
Dude, that's brilliant what you said. You tell them what you want and you let them figure out how to give it to you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what do you expect now? Are you going to have a mechanic with you? Like, how does it look when you're training leading up to? So you got what, 4 weeks? Do you have how many? 3 weeks? How many?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So what do your weeks look like leading up to it? Are you riding every day, 3 days? Break me down a little Nick Laurie break, like a week and how to prep.
Yeah, so I'm gonna head back to MTF and it's gonna be all out training. We're gonna ride probably almost every day of the week, and then all the gym work's already been done. I'm already in shape. At least I'd like to think so. I mean, you never know until you get there, but I feel like I'm in really good shape. Um, as far as on the bike goes, I figure the more time I put on the bike, the more comfortable I'm gonna get. So I'm just gonna ride it and ride it and ride it till it's dark.
Dude, I think that's the right way to go. You do the big base cardio off, and then when it comes to the race, just ride, ride, ride. And you got to remember too, when you get to that first round, no matter how good a shape you're in, the nerves, you can take a guy that can do a 30-minute moto, no problem, 100%, make them nervous, and they'll be gassed out in 10 minutes. It's crazy how the body works that way. So yeah, that's something I'm surprised that you don't do any like a meditation or specific, to where you can calm that.
Yeah, I've definitely looked into breathing. Like I definitely do my breathing before I race for practice. Um, just me personally, I'm not the type of person that can sit still for a couple minutes.
You and every other motocrosser, we all have
Yeah,
ADD. That's just a problem we
I
have.
swear, worse ADHD. I can't sit still. I can't not think. But
Yeah, well, I
once
think
it's dark,
that's kind of what draws us to this sport, is that like that personality. But then also, I'm not gonna lie, we bump our heads. It doesn't help the ADD, or ADHD. Um, let's look forward to this weekend's race in San Francisco. It looks like it's going to be a mud race. Now tell me how this works with a team. Now it's different for privateers and factories. Factory guys don't care. They got all the resources in the world. Do you guys stress out? Does it deplete your resources? What do you think when you see rain?
man, rain is a struggle. I'm not really sure how we're gonna handle rain this year on Wildcat, but if we get it. But for instance, what I would personally do if I was privateer, I would it would be the chain from practice to heat race to main. So you go through 3 chains in one day. You know, you're just gonna wash the bike every time. You're essentially gonna have to go out there with a new bike every time to eliminate the possibility of anything failing.
What about clutches? How often do you do a clutch in the mud or clutch regularly?
I'm pretty hard on clutches, so I might go through a clutch on a mud day, but I think definitely you could get away with the same clutch.
Interesting. Yeah, Tomac has a new clutch every time he hits there, but that's Tomac. He's freak
Yeah,
of
I don't know
nature.
how to do that. I don't like new clutches. I hate new clutches. I don't know why.
Okay, now I know you got to stay a little bit politically correct because you may ride for Fox at one time. But what do I tell you if they show up and they say, Nick, we got this onesie. Can you wear it?
Do it. Personally, I thought it was pretty sick.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
know
okay.
why.
No, good, because I'm glad. I don't want everyone to crap on it like I did. I totally shit on it, but I'm a vet rider. You're a skinny guy. You could probably pull it off. I would look ridiculous. So,
Yeah, I think you gotta have the racer body for it, so it doesn't look stupid. But I mean, I think it was actually pretty sick. Like I could definitely see it being comfortable.
yeah, I don't know. For me, I don't know. I'm just old school. I'd rather see, like, I mean, LBZs are too much, but somewhere in the middle. I don't want spandex completely, and I don't want LBZs. I just need a little casual, but glad to see you like it. Sophia Phelps, who's, she's the top motocrosser. You know who she is?
Man, that sounds familiar.
She won Loretta's a couple times. She's going to do some stuff with me on on Cooksey Media. She let me have it. She's like, "What are you talking about? That thing's awesome. I want one." I'm like, "Okay, maybe I'm not the only maybe I'm the only guy that thinks it's stupid, but I think it's dumb." And
I mean, I
then
think the coolest thing is good is like for now, like the chest protector and having to tuck your jersey in, it bunches up the chest protector. So if you don't have anything there to stop the chest protector, I think it's actually a good idea.
yeah, and I will, you know what? I will come, I'll give him a little bit of credit for going out of the box and doing something different. It just wasn't my style. Um, and then one more thing, I'm going to put you on the spot, the hot button topic. Did you watch the start with Vince Friese? And then did you see what he did to Wilson? I'm once again out on an island saying, this is my opinion. I said the first turn, that wasn't his, like, that's racing. You chop in, you got a bike length, you control that the first turn. And I feel like Hunter should have checked up a little bit more, and maybe because it was a right-hander that happened. But then what he did to Wilson, you can't do that early in the race. I mean, it wasn't a horrible move, but on the first lap, come on. I even told Vince and Tony and those guys that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna get some hate for this, but I actually totally agree. The first, no matter what, the first turn is so wild. Whether Hunter should have checked up, whether Vince should have checked up, it's too wild to like say. I mean, there's too much going on for him to say I'm gonna take Hunter out on start because there's so much going on that yeah, there's not no world that that was his goal.
Yeah, if you replace that bike with Cooper Webb and that happens, everyone goes, "Oh, it was just a racing incident."
Yeah,
But and it sucks because Logan Carnow, did you see his foot?
I know that thing was
Oh,
backwards. I couldn't believe it.
dude, I feel so bad for Logan, but yeah, I mean his season's over. It sucks. So, but I don't think you can blame Vince for that completely. I mean, I don't know. That's where I'm at. I'm glad you kind of support me. You don't have to trust me. The hate that I'm getting, I almost want you to go against me.
No,
So,
I mean, on the other hand, I think the Wilson thing was totally out of line. Um, I mean, you pick your battles. Like I think that was out of line. I think the start was just him maybe not being in total control, but not anything on purpose.
yeah, and the thing on Wilson, and here's the way I put it. My dad always told me, if you do a block pass and you both go down, there's no defending it. It was a bad pass. You shouldn't have done it. And then when you make an attempt like that for the last spot in the LCQ, nobody says a word. But you do it on the
Yeah,
first lap, and timing does matter. I mean, it's situational, and if you don't pick the right time, it really is the difference between making it dirty or acceptable.
yeah. I mean, it was just I think it was unnecessary, especially because he took himself out too. Did he get hurt from that?
I thought they said a separated shoulder initially, but I talked to him and he pinched a nerve. and he's not sure. He was going to try to ride today and see if he could ride, but I don't think it's anything serious. But I mean, a pinched nerve, you know how nerves are. Some days, I mean,
Yeah.
it could be 2 weeks. It could be fine today. You never know. So,
Yeah, but regardless, I think it was a little bit unnecessary. I mean, and you're right. If it was LCQ, it would have been different, but it wasn't, so it's not.
that was the first lap for 15th.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, Vince. You know, I don't think the move was excessive. It was excessive because of when it happened. So, all right, my man. I don't want to keep you too long here on a Wednesday night, but congrats on Wildcat Racing. I will be cheering for you. Anything else you want to get off your chest?
No, I mean, I'm just excited. I mean, Lorenzo has been really good to me. He's the one that kind of, him and his family are kind of running the whole thing. Um, and they've been making sure I've been taken care of throughout this process. We're, like I said, we're still looking for sponsors. If you want to be a part of a team, if you want to help me out, make donations, or like I really truly enjoy people just hitting me up on Instagram and telling them that they support me this year. I mean, that goes a long way as well. But yeah, for everyone that's helped me, I'm so thankful and I appreciate it.
So, are we bringing the show? Do we have the title sponsor that we're naming this show over, or are we doing it with the strap company? What's that strap company again? Brap Straps?
Wrap straps.
Okay. We're going to bring today's show from Brap Straps. Are they the full-time one, or are we still got that spot open?
Uh, there's still other spots open, but he's been the one helping me out the most.
Okay. So, unless somebody comes with some big bucks, they're our guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it so far.
Awesome. All right, Nick. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it. Please ride smart. Remember, get comfortable on that bike. The speed comes later on. All you need to do is get comfortable the first few days. All right.
Yeah, and we'll have some exclusive like videos and stuff for next one.
Hell yeah, dude. All right,
I mean, I
man.
tell you what, I seen the bike today and it's sick.
Dude. And those look good. And I'm sorry, Nick, you look good in red. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
I'm excited to see because I know what you've been riding. And yes, it's a Yamaha, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not super pumped. Your fact that you're riding outdoor suspension, and I don't think you've had this kind of an opportunity before, but I just want you to, you know, a lot of times guys get on these teams with a bike that's just, you're going from like a stock Porsche to a modified Ferrari.
No, definitely. I mean, it's gonna be sick. Dude, I totally forgot. So I signed that contract with um Wildcat today. And then I'm not sure how much you've looked into or heard about the Indian Supercross League.
Heard about it, but I don't know much about it. Can you inform me?
Yeah, so a lot of the Americans were going to do it, but they had to push it back because they couldn't find venues. So it was supposed to be before Supercross even happened. So now all the West Coast guys are like, we're not doing it. But they made the dates where if you're racing the East Coast, you could do it. And it was kind of sick. Like they did it like the NFL draft, where you're draft picked and you get auctioned off. So that I got auctioned off today. So that may be something that you guys might hear about in the future. Me going to India.
Yeah, let's do it, man. If they want to fly a media guy, if they'll cover my airfare, I'll come cover it for you guys. So
I'm sure they will. They look like they're all in and gonna do some crazy things.
well, let them know. When you talk to them, let them know you got a media guy who's ready to come cover it. All right, brother. That's awesome. I look forward to seeing you on the East Coast and now in India. Now, did you find that deal with India through Wildcat, or was that something you had going before?
No, that was just something we heard about like I want to say last year, but at the end of the Supercross season, that they were gonna build this and do this. And I signed up and I gave them all my information, resume, and all the testing videos. They wanted to see videos of me hitting whoops and rhythms, and then I don't know how they determine what draft pick you are, and I don't even know what draft pick I was. I know I was drafted to the first team that was able to auction, but it looks pretty legit. It looks pretty cool. I mean, it looks like something for what it is. It's going to be growing the sport of Supercross. So if that's the case, I'm all in.
Heck yeah, dude. The more Supercross we can get all over the world, the better it is, the bigger it is. I'm all in. Do you know the website where we go find information about this?
I want to say it's SEAT, SEAT Indian Supercross League. I think that's what it is.
Okay. Well, after this podcast, before I post this, I'll look it up and put the link in here. So perfect. All right, brother. Well, you have a wonderful night, man. And thanks again for doing
All
this.
right. You too, no problem.